The following is a presentation of Muddy River News.
The Liquor Booth is your home for a huge selection of beer, wine, and spirits. The Liquor Booth has 2 locations in Quincy, 3520 Broadway and 1500 North 12th Street. The Liquor Booth, where it's always happy hour.
Everybody, and welcome to the Daily Muddy. I'm Bob Goff. Ashley Conrad is off today. I'm with Adams County Clerk Ryan Niekamp because we have a rare event happening following the Tuesday election. We have a tie, correct?
We do. As of this moment, we do have a tie. And right now it's a waiting game until at least April 18th.
So, again, we're talking about the 7th Ward aldermanic race in Quincy between Republican Tim Seamer and Democrat Ben Uzelak. They each have 205 votes, correct?
Correct.
What happens next?
Right now, we got to wait for the vote by mails. There's about 57 outstanding vote by mails in Ward 7. So we have by law to wait 2 weeks, so April 18th, to see if those come back to us through the post office. I really want everybody to know, though, that in order to be accepted at this point, they have to be one postmarked by the United States Postal Service on April 4th or before. They must be sealed, and then they must be signed. We'll have a bipartisan panel of judges at that point review them. They'll verify the signatures, and then if everything looks good, they'll be put in the tabulator.
So the judges will begin reviewing the ballots when?
We'll have some at the end of this week. We'll have some at the end of next week, and then April 18th we'll have our final batch come in.
So basically, as the mail comes in, you'll wait until the last mail delivery on April 18th, and then the final count.
Yep. So it's just like how we run vote by mail during the normal period. They all get tabulated just like early voting does. We don't know those results, though, until we close the polls, and we won't close this poll until April 18th.
I think the other thing I want people to notice, last night we were all, look at your website and updating it as it is. It came in at one point and said 5 precincts were counted and Tim Seamer had a large lead. Mm-hmm. Myself and a lot of other people thought, this is over. But we also hadn't at that point, the early voting ballots had not yet been entered, correct?
That is correct.
So, do you separate those? I mean, it used to be, if I remember, the county website used to be the early vote numbers and the other numbers. You don't do that anymore, right?
No, we're looking. I've been trying for a while to find some new election night result management tool software. I can't find that's it's very, very expensive software.
Sure. We all know how the county loves to spend money, too. You don't have to make a comment. I'm just joking.
So with that, yeah. So how this works? We start getting results in. Election day gets put in the result first. Okay, so everything you see. So when you see 5 out of 5 precincts, that's for that ward. It's really, really critical, though, that you look at how many precincts total in the whole county we have. Mm-hmm. Because early voting and vote by mail will not be added until everything's been completed throughout the entire county on election day voting. Mm-hmm. And here's a reason. Let me explain the reason why this is the way it is. If we were to put early voting in at the very beginning of the night and vote by mail, it's going to show 74 out of 74 precincts reporting right at 7:15.
Okay. That's not the way it is.
Right. So, and that'd be a little suspicious if all the precincts are reporting at 7:15, but that number keeps fluctuating all night long.
I think that's when you had a good word there, and again, suspicious is not a word. Again, there were 5 precincts in that ward, and it said 5 of 5, and Seamer had that lead. But again, the ballots that the early voting and that consisted of the early voting as well as other mail-in ballots that had already been received. Correct? Or just the early voting.
I'm sorry, who's that?
Okay. We had the number that was posted, which had Seamer had the lead.
Right.
Then we had the other number, which showed the tie. The ballots that brought Uzelak up for the tie, those consisted of both early voting and any mail that had already come in, or just early voting?
Early voting and vote by mail that had came in already.
Okay, so you, and again, anybody that's going to vote by mail, you have sent them the ballot, so you know how many ballots are still out there to come back.
Yes, we do.
And that's why that number is 57.
Correct.
But again, you might, and you have 2 weeks for them to all come in. Mail's not as fast as it used to be. It gets shipped to Springfield and goes to Timbuktu or wherever. You might get 55. You might get 10, you might get 2, you might get none. That's what we're looking at, right?
That's the reality of it.
Okay. Regardless, this is the final's going to be close. Mm-hmm. As a recount, how would a potential recount work?
So state law. So first off, well, let's talk about the recount. So once we get past April 18th, that's all the vote by mails. That'll be our final numbers. Okay. Then after that, then we have to canvass to the State Board of Elections, and we say, State Board of Elections, these are our final numbers. From that point forward, the candidates would have 5 days from then to petition for a discovery recount, and that would mean essentially that they'd come in, they'd be allowed to look at all of our paperwork, all the applications, and we kind of go from there. They may also request a retabulation up to 25% of the precincts, so we're dealing with just 5 precincts here. So that's how that would work. Then whatever they find in that section, then they'd have to petition the circuit court and then go through court proceedings.
So there's not an automatic recount per se. It's up to the candidates to decide, hey, I want to recount.
Per state law, yes.
Okay. All right. I think that's again, we just wanted to try to provide some clarity because,
Absolutely.
Again, last night the numbers came in as they came in, and again, the way they were tabulated. I think you've given a very good explanation. I thought I explained it as well as I could in the story we had today, but still, apparently, some people just don't. It's not clicking with some people.
Yeah,
So,
can I also say a couple things?
Sure.
So here in Adams County, I'm very, very, very proud of the work that my office does, my staff, all of our 250 plus election judges.
Yeah.
It's a really, really long day for them, and they do a great job for us. I appreciate them to no end. The other big part about elections is every last thing here has a paper trail. Mm-hmm. Everything has a paper trail. So right now, if people were to go to the county courthouse, we have receipt tapes on the taped up to the wall of our building, so you can see from the outside, and it has timestamps of when everything was printed. It has the dates they were printed, and has every single results, as do all of our polling locations across the county. So that's just one way, and then, of course, we have paper ballots. As long as I'm the clerk, we are never going away from paper ballots. It's actually against the law to go, anything other than paper ballots. But everything we have here, paper trail, everything is audited. And then another part to this as well, just every election, we're mandated to do it. It's, I believe it's scheduled for April 18th. We'll have a mandatory 5% retabulation. So what that means is the State Board of Elections will give us a list, and they will just randomly choose 5% of the precincts and say, retabulate these. And as long as I've been clerk, it's been 100% on the money every single election.
Also, we had a whopping 18% turnout as well. It's not like we had a lot of people show up.
And Bob, that's a really good point. An 18% turnout, I talk about turnouts all the time when it comes to elections. My first election, 2020 presidential, 76%. That was historic almost in Adams County. Our gubernatorial election, we were at almost 60%. You get to consolidate it, and I always tell everyone, every vote matters.
Yeah.
This is a great example of why every vote matters.
No question about it. So, well, I thank you for your time. We'll be checking in with you regularly. I guess just to let people know, where are the ballots right now, and are they secure?
They are 100% secure. So once the polls close, the judges go out. They do their audits for the night to make sure that everything matches up number wise. They get put in a bag. That bag then gets locked, transported by a bipartisan panel of judges from the polling site to my office, and all ballots are in my office secured at this moment.
And that's a real heavy canvas bag, right? With the lock and everything. They're, Nobody's getting in it.
No.
All right. Well, again, Ryan, I thank you for stopping by today. And again, we'll be checking in, and we'll see if we get a resolution of this sometime before the 4th of July or something, let's just say.
All right. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, sir. Coming up, we'll be talking to Laura Sievert with the Quincy Society of Fine Arts.
Welcome to the Abbey, a Quincy tradition. With 6 big screens, a new larger kitchen, and now more seating capacity, the Abbey is the place to be before, during, and after the big game. Come enjoy fan favorite appetizers, steaks, burgers, and a variety of daily food and drink specials. Can't join us? Carryout is available too. Now with a convenient drive-up window to better serve you. 1736 Spring in Quincy. Opens at 3 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday. Come join all your friends at the Abbey, a Quincy tradition.
Instant Replay is your local sports bar. With 18 big screen TVs, we have all the sports packages from college games to pro games. We offer daily drink specials, and come check out the Bullpen, our newly renovated beer garden. Instant Replay, 2739 Chestnut in Quincy.
Quincy Warehouse Bargains is your Quincy home improvement store. It's the only store of its kind in the Quincy area. We offer flooring, mattresses, area rugs, dining sets, couches, appliances, and much more. And have more products to come so we can better serve the Quincy and tri-state community. Our staff is ready to help you find what you need to make your house a home. Quincy Warehouse Bargains, 4100 North 24th Street, Quincy.
Are you looking for the perfect venue for your next special event? Check out Utopia Event Center. Utopia has a large banquet room and an awesome bar area, perfect for anything from birthday parties to formal corporate meetings. It also offers a photo booth, stage for a DJ or a live band, and a fully stocked bar, all for only $300. Check us out at utopiaeventcenter.com or call Barn at 217-430-6559 for more information. Utopia Event Center, 900 North 12th Street in Quincy.
A great night's sleep starts at Harvey's Furniture. Check out the large selection of complete bedroom sets. And when it comes to mattresses, we have a full selection from Bemco, Spring Air, and Chatham & Wells. Harvey's Furniture. Our home, your home.
Welcome back. Laura Seaver of the Quincy Society of Fine Arts is joining us, and she's got some good news about some potential grant opportunities. Welcome.
Hi, nice to be here.
So the state has passed down some money that you are involved in allocating. Walk me through it.
Yeah, so this is the last of the ARPA funds that are coming out. There's actually $175 million total for hospitality, restaurants, and the arts and creative sector to finish the recovery process. A lot of people are saying, well, why now is this coming out? And the short answer to that is bureaucracy sometimes moves a little slow. Yeah. But we still do want to help those folks that are trying to bring back those 2019 levels and grow into the future. So that's really what this is about. My part of this is in the $50 million side of the creative sector recovery grant. So I'm not involved with the hospitality and restaurant side. There's committees for that too. But we've been talking about this with state agencies for, oh gosh, I feel like our first meeting had to be 6 months ago. So it's been in the works a while, and it's really exciting. Today is actually the first day you can apply for it.
And I know you had the folks from Illinois Arts Council in here not too long ago. So it looks like that Quincy's really getting some really great opportunities here for its arts history, for its arts programs, because of its, we have a great arts history here.
We do. Of course, I'm the executive director of the very first arts council in the nation, so we have a huge part of that history. But really, part of my job as your arts council is to make those state connections, right? I need to make sure that they're coming down here, seeing it in person. It's something I've been on for a long time. I don't think you can understand the breadth of arts opportunities we have unless you see it in person. So getting the decision makers here was huge, and they were so impressed with, we went to, of course, the History Museum, which we got $1.5 million from the capital improvement bill to fix that building up and put a new observation deck and an elevator in there. But anytime those grant funding come along, it's important that they know what we need. So we took them to the community theater, we took them to the art center, we took them to the Quincy Museum, and now they know our needs, and now they know that we can execute some high-level things for the rural area that we serve.
So talk a little bit about the area you're serving.
Yeah, so Arts Quincy's general service area, we usually consider it about 50-mile radius of Quincy. So that includes some Hannibal and some Keokuk in that area as well. But for this program, it's just an Illinois program, and I was given a pretty big service area. I have 16 counties. So roughly that's everything south of Peoria, everything north of St. Louis, and everything west of about Pittsfield, Jacksonville area. So it's a big area, but we're doing our best to reach out to everybody who could be affected by this, because it is not just a nonprofit grant program. This is one of the things I want to, if I could just make one headline, it is not just a nonprofit program. It is for anybody in the creative sector. So let's say you're a wedding DJ or a band that plays weddings, or you're you do sell crafts on Etsy and make good money on Etsy. If you are an individual sole proprietor in the creative sector, you may be eligible. If you own a bar that primarily gets its money through music, you may be eligible. And we want to cast that wide net so that everybody knows that they could be part of this program. Who
are the decision makers and who decide who? If Joe Blow applies, who decides if Joe Blow gets the money?
So there is actually a state commission, and it's a bunch of CPAs.
Okay.
Let's be honest, bunch
of bean counters. All right.
But my job as your hub is to make sure we're getting to everybody who's eligible. If you have a question about whether you're eligible, we can. First of all, we're pretty good at answering those questions at Arts Quincy ourselves. But I also have an internal helpline that I can call and elevate a question. So there are some people who occupy a gray area. Actually, the venue that I just talked about, the venue grants, are a really interesting one because they may be eligible for restaurant grants and they may be eligible for arts grants. They can't get both.
Oh, okay.
So they have to sort of decide which is the better way to go. And we can elevate that through the help desk and say, well, you're probably eligible for more money as a restaurant, or you're probably eligible for more money as an arts organization. So we really want to navigate that with you and figure out where are you most likely to see the most benefit. And really, my goal as a hub downstate is just to make sure that as many dollars come here as possible. I really want to make sure everybody who's eligible gets funded. What's great about it, what I really like about it, everybody who is eligible will get something.
Right.
So there's nobody who will go unfunded if you can prove those losses. So that's really cool.
And again, it's based on the losses you may have sustained over the last couple of years.
So let me talk about eligibility. So you have to be in operation now. So you can't have gone out of business and stayed out of business. Mm-hmm. You had to be in operation in 2019. So if you started during the pandemic, this program, you're eligible for this program.
Okay.
You will have to show some loss from 2020 or 2021. You'll get to pick those dates to kind of go into the application and learn more about that. But you'll have to show some loss. And that includes loss if you are a 1099 sole proprietor. Mm-hmm. So let's say I have the best wedding band in the land, and we used to make good money, and I used to make $6,000, $7,000 extra income every year, and I file a Schedule C when I do my personal taxes, right? Which is somebody who's got a 1099, made more than $600, files a Schedule C. If you are that person, and then you had no weddings in all of 2020 or 2021, mm-hmm. and then you're back in business now, you are probably eligible to recoup a lot of that loss.
Great. Well, again, it sounds like a fantastic program. Yeah. We will. Do you have the links on the website already to sign up and everything?
Yeah, absolutely. April 5th. Today is the day that the application goes live, so you can start looking at it. I would say do check out the information and process it as slowly as you need to. It is not a first come, first serve. Other COVID programs that you may or may not have had taken advantage of do not count against you. So if you've gotten PPP, which is a payroll protection, if you've gotten the employee retention credits, if you've gotten the shuttered venues grants, that does not disqualify you from this grant program. And that due date is May 10th.
Okay.
So it's not a rush thing. It's not a first come, first serve thing. It's a do it right the first time, because we want to make sure people get that.
Get your taxes done first, then apply for the grant. Because that's coming up too.
And then the small nonprofits out there, if you file a 990 on a postcard form, which is the easy 990s, you are also eligible for $5,000 straight. It won't have to necessarily, you'll have to do some attestations to loss, but you don't have to prove it because of the way that those taxes work. So you can have $5,000. And I can see a lot of our small organizations here in Quincy. I think of like the Log Cabin Village or the Needleworkers, those kind of small places that could take advantage of that.
I think so too. Well, we will have a link directly under this interview. We'll have a link so you can go right to the site and take care of everything. So
any of that update that comes through, we're putting it straight onto Arts Quincy's website. But you can also go to illinois.gov/B2B, and that will have the restaurant program, the hospitality program, and the creative arts sector program as well.
We'll have all the links there. Just look down there. You'll find it. So, all right. Laura, thank you for your time.
Hey, sure. Appreciate it.
That's all the time we have for today. We will see you tomorrow. Have a great day.
Muddy River News. Our home, our news.